Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show, Friday, October the 1st. It is the final Friday of the regular season, final weekend of the regular season. 3 games left for everybody, and then 162 on Sunday. Everybody plays at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. So this is it. This is the final weekend of the regular season. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, and our Friday guest, Sharpie, with us as well. We're going to break it all down here. The final Friday of the regular season. It looks like there's some clarity in the AL wildcard race. The Yankees, with that win last night, they're pretty much in, probably the number 1 wild card as well. And it's basically we're down to Boston, Seattle, and Toronto, 3 teams for that one spot, that second wild card in the American League. So it's going to be a very exciting final weekend. Let's get to it. We've got a big card on tap. We'll start with the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates, 2 teams playing for exercise. In fact, there's a lot of teams head-to-head playing each other for exercise. This is one of them. We've got Castillo on the mound for the Reds, Will Crow for the Pittsburgh Pirates in this game. Currently, we see the Reds minus 180, road favorites 8.5 in this one. I really don't need to belabor the point. I would lean over the total, though, 8.5. I've been having some success with the Pirates over the total lately. Now, last night, the Cubs did all the scoring for the over, but one way or the other, either the Pirates are hitting or they're giving up runs. But one way or another, their games have been going over the total lately. So I would lean in that direction. And as far as these 2 teams, as with any team, with any series or any game this weekend where you're talking about 2 non-playoff teams, it's pretty much dog or pass for me across the board. I'm not even all that interested in the pitching matchup, especially when you're talking a price like this. Cincinnati minus 180 on the road. I know Castillo is clearly the better of the 2 starters, but I'm not laying minus 180 with any team out of the playoffs right now, not on this final weekend. So dog or pass, which would be Pittsburgh or pass, and I lean over the total in this game. What do you think, Conor Mac?
Yeah, this is ugly. I don't want to put my money on it. You talk about it. I can't put any money on these, favorites, especially the Reds. Oh, just been horrible. I took them the other day, like I talked about. I stayed off them for a month, and they lost. I don't want them here, especially laying a number like this. I wouldn't want their team total. They should hit Will Crow. He's not very good. And Castillo, what Castillo are we going to get? The horrible one early in the year, the bad one, kind of lately he's been a little touched up. So this is Pirates or pass for me as well. I lean over, too. I hear that it's at 8.5. I think Castillo, but it's all about the Pirates, I don't know if they'll have an 0 for day. Can they score some runs today off Castillo? I don't know. I think they can. I lean over, but I got to pass here.
Yeah, he's been up and down like a yo-yo here, Castillo. I mean, really, up and down. Early in the month of September, he struggled. And then the last 2 starts against the Dodgers and Nationals, he's given up 2 runs in the last 12 innings. So which one's it going to be? I do know Will Crow got crushed by the Reds earlier this season. That game ended up going over the total. And when you look at these 2 teams, like I said, Pittsburgh, they're on an over streak right now, 7-3 to the 6-4 to the over their last 10 games. The Reds have gone over the total, 6-4 in their last 10 games as well. So I would lean that way. 8.5, not a terrible number. You could get over that in my mind, especially in these 2 bullpens, never trustworthy to shut the door. What do you think here, Sharpie?
Man, shout out to the chat, guys. 30 people in here and almost 30 likes. I tell you to smash the like, but it looks like you guys are already on that.
They're on it.
Sure. Let's get this, though. You guys make me laugh in a good way, guys. I love it. I'm over here baked listening to you guys. I don't want nothing to do with this game either. Like, straight up. If you're betting this game tonight, good luck. You're probably a fan of one of these 2 teams. They gave you all the stats. I cannot give you anything more that they'd already said.
All right, Tampa Bay Rays, New York Yankees. This one does have significance. New York Yankees minus 120, home favorites in the Bronx, 8.5 the total. Nestor Cortez on the mound for the Yankees, Shane McClanahan. A battle of lefties here, in fact, in this game. McClanahan for the Rays. Nestor Cortez, let's give him credit. He has gone now 8 straight starts dating back to August 15th, 3 runs or less in every single outing, and the Yankees 6-2 in those 8 games. Look, I'm not stepping in front of the Yankees right now. I mean, they look like they are absolutely ready to finish this out, close out this clinching the wild card spot, this number 1 spot. What are they, 7-1 now in their last 8 games? Very impressive run for the Yankees during this stretch. We'll see if they can keep it rolling here going into this game. In fact, they're 8-1, in their last 9 games. So they played great baseball, playing their best baseball when they needed to, because really they were on the edge of the cliff about a week and a half ago, thinking we might be looking at the Yankees and talking about the Yankees being on the outside looking in. And now here they are firmly in control of getting probably the number one wild card spot and hosting the wild card game on Tuesday night, the AL wild card game at Yankee Stadium. So I think they get this clinched. It's a question of when, not if. Could be tonight, because I like the way Cortez has played. The Rays clinched everything a couple nights ago in Houston, number one seed, home field throughout the playoffs, and then they predictably fell flat last night against Houston, although they're still competitive, 3-2. And, Tampa Bay, you get that sense, though, that even though there's not much to play for in this final weekend, trying to play spoiler, even though I think it's going to be difficult for the Yankees to, gag away the playoff spot now with what they've done this week. Still, you might get incentive for the Rays to go out there, but I'm just not stepping in front of the Yankees. Stanton and Judge, these two guys the last week and a half have been outstanding. They have combined, I think, 26 RBIs between them in the last 7 or 8 games. I mean, they have been those big-time sluggers, and the Yankee fans have been ripping them at times, criticizing them at times, and they're finally raising their game at the right time of year. So let's give them credit. I lean Yankees, but I'm not going to bet it because, I do respect the Rays. They are a dog, and I don't think they're going to completely roll over. But I do lean Yankees here, but unlikely to get involved. What do you think here, Connor?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get involved either. I'd lean the other way. I'd take the Rays. They don't want the Yankees in the playoffs, and they love kicking their ass. These Rays have owned the Yankees.
Yep.
But the Yankees have hit McClanahan. I looked up this year. He's gotten touched by him pretty good. Rays have done all right against Cortez. I think he's had one start. Yeah, I know the Rays, they had first and second no outs in the 9th. They probably should have won that game last night while losing 3-2. So we'll see what the lineup is. I'm probably going to stay off, but I only want the better ball club, which is the Rays catching money, and they continually beat the Yankees all the time. And I know they don't want them to win. So Rays are pass for me here.
Yeah, definitely. And by the way, 11-4 in the last 15 visits to Yankee Stadium for the Tampa Bay Rays. So they've treated this ballpark like their home and really played well here against the Yankees. Sharpie, what do you like?
Man, I like a lot about this game. Straight up, let's get into it. They both have mediocre bullpens, so I want nothing to do with these bullpens. The issue is, can you trust McClanahan here? Because I'm with Connor here. I'm leaning Rays. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm really getting into it.
Wow!
I know. I'm thinking you can see.
Whoa! Choo choo!
Wow, it's right. Grizzle A. Are you kidding me? $50.
That was worth interrupting you.
Yeah, bro, man, shit. I'm gonna have to dab to that. I'm dabbing to that in a little bit, man. Shout out to this guy, Grizzly, the man, the truth, the legend, throwing money around like I throw Smash the Like around, guys, like it's Nathan. Shucks, you're the man. We appreciate you, bro. Good looking.
Do the old Joe Rogan thing that he does after he interviews the bow. We appreciate you, Grizzly. Thank you very much. I respect you. It's an honor to call your fight. It's an honor for you to donate to Pub Sports Radio and help us out. We appreciate it. That's amazing, Grizzly. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
$50 donut. What can you say?
Hey, guys.
You're the reason we're going to keep doing this for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Who knows?
Exactly.
You never know. Thank you very much, Grizzly.
But let's get back in the baseball. We like the likes just as much as donations. We understand everything helps, guys. Do what you can, so smash it if you can. So back to this game. It's, can I trust McClanahan? His home road splits say no. He's better at home by a 2 ERA. And the bats, Tampa Bay smashes lefties, guys. They've done it all month. They've done it all 15 days, where the Mets were middle of the pack 30 days ago, but top 5, like Ian was saying. They're top 5 versus lefties the last 5 days, or 15. That's why I'm having troubles trusting McClanahan. So if I think McClanahan and Cortez is going to get hit, why am I not looking towards this first 5 over, guys? That's the spot where I'm leaning to right now. I haven't bet it, but both of these bats are on fire. I don't think these pitchers are going to do their thing. And I did check out the lineup. Tampa Bay has the murder lineup in right now. There's Wander Franco's back, and they have Lowe out. Lowe, yes, is one of their better hitters, but does struggles versus lefties. That's something that's what I look for. I was like, is Lowe in the lineup? Nope. Oh, this is their lefty lineup. They're getting ready, guys. And like Connor said, they own the Yankees. So I lean McClanahan, but his splits won't let me bet him. So I'm probably going to bet the over first 5 in this spot.
All right, like an over and runs early in this one with the Yankees and the Rays. All right, we move on to Boston and Washington. Eduardo Rodriguez, Josh Rogers on the mound. The Red Sox minus 190, road favorites, 9.5 the total in this one. And, there were a few friends of mine last night after the Jays lost to the Yankees, pretty depressed. Got people that are way more emotionally invested in the Blue Jays than I am. To be honest with you, I won't lose any sleep whatsoever if they miss the playoffs, to be perfectly honest with you. But I know a few of my friends would. And I said to them, and they immediately felt better. I said, yeah, it sucks. You lost 2 out of 3. You were hoping to win this series against the Yankees. Now you're gonna need to win against Baltimore and get some help. But I said it could always be worse. Could have been the Boston Red Sox and lose 2 or 3 to Baltimore. It always could have been worse. At least you lost to a good Yankee team, who's playing good baseball right now. What's Boston's excuse? What the hell was that? The last 2 of the last 3 games against Baltimore. Oh my goodness. What, 2 runs last night against this Baltimore pitching staff? Are you kidding? I mean, what on earth is going on here with this Red Sox team? And now they have just invited all kinds of trouble. And they put themselves in a huge hornet's nest now, if you ask me, because now Seattle is tied with them for the second wild card spot. And Seattle's got all kinds of momentum. You got the Angels this weekend at home. That's a winnable series in my mind. And you look at this Boston team, they got to play a Washington Nationals team that, yeah, you would think just like Baltimore they can beat, but Washington's still better than Baltimore, at least a little bit. And they're still competing in most games. I throw out that they lost 2 or 3 in Colorado because Colorado always plays well there. They gave the Reds all kinds of fits last weekend. 2 of those losses were 1 run. I mean, this is not going to be a pushover game or a pushover series for Boston, especially not after you saw them get swept by the Yankees last weekend and then lose 2 or 3 to Baltimore. So they're going in the wrong way at the wrong time. Do we trust Eduardo Rodriguez in a big game is the question mark. I know he's pitched better. 3 starts in a row. He's given up just 2 runs in each start. Seattle, the Mets, the Yankees. So he has pitched better. We'll see if he can do it here against the Nationals, who usually we think of them as a capable lineup against lefties. We've got Josh Rogers on the mound for them. And here in the month of September, he had one really bad start against Baltimore. But outside of that, he's given up 3 runs or less in every outing this year. We'll see if he can keep that going. I ain't laying a price with Boston on the road. I'll tell you that right now. Not after what I've seen the last few days. Maybe the pressure's getting to them, case of the yips. I don't know what it is, but they're not playing good ball right now. Not a team I'm laying a price with on the road. Lean over in this game if I were to look at anything. What do you think here, Sharpie, with Boston, Washington?
Once again, yeah, I'm right with you here on this, Ian. I lean over. I haven't bet it. This is definitely all my leans I go through after the show, after we talk them all out, and I see if I'm going to bet them. I'm definitely on the over on this game, some which way or how. My thing is, though, is with Washington, if you go over their 30-day numbers, yes, they hit lefties, but the last 15 days, they're hitting for average, but not for power. So that worries me a little bit. But Rodriguez playing in a National League park might throw him off just enough for what we need. I'm going to probably live watch this game and live bet it for the over. Both of these bullpens are just ready to be set on fire. So if one of these pitchers does do well, then I'll just lay off. But I think the over hits in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think there'll be some runs scored. Washington had a lot of runs in the Colorado series, actually in the Cincinnati series last weekend too. There were a lot of runs as well, and 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games. Kevin DeFreitas, thank you very much. Another dono. We appreciate it very much. Conor Mac, Red Sox Nationals. How can you lay a price with Boston on the road? I know we can't.
Never. This is a double bet for me. I got to take the Nats first 5 plus 175, and I laid off their team total in Colorado because it was too high. So I'll jump on the team total over 3.5 minus 115 as well.
Yeah, this is the only interleague series this weekend. It's kind of weird because I believe every other or almost every series this weekend, the majority of them anyway, are divisional series, divisional matchups. And yet,
it's a weird way to end it.
Yeah, I mean, just odd. This is the only one where you have an interleague series to wrap up the regular season with these two teams. Baltimore, Toronto, we've got Steven Matz and Thomas Eshelman on the mound here. We've got the Blue Jays minus 340 to as high as minus 380 at some spots. 9.5 the total in this one. I'm certainly not going to endorse Toronto here at this price. Not at all. You worry about them mentally a little bit. Put a lot of eggs into the basket of that Yankees series. They thought with that win on Wednesday, things are looking good. We got our ace, maybe our Cy Young winner here, Robbie Ray on the mound. And boy, he was rolling for the first 5 innings and then just bam, 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 3 homers in the 6th inning. And that was all she wrote. And the Yankees ended up winning going away 6-2 last night. How do they respond to that? I mean, they're still very much alive. They're only a game back of Boston and Seattle. And it's not like we trust Boston and Seattle firmly to take care of business this weekend with pressure at an all-time high. But are the Jays deflated a little bit, after losing that game against the Yankees? We'll have to wait and see. And you're talking about a pitcher in Steven Matz who, look, I get it. He's had a decent year overall, but is he ready to be trusted in this price range? Probably not. He has pitched better his last 2 starts, both against the Twins. He gave up 4 runs in 8.2 innings, so he did pitch better. Prior to that, though, against Baltimore, he gave up 5, but he's just still not someone I'm ready to trust here in this price range. And, it is worth noting that when he did face Baltimore last, it was that rough start against this Orioles team, 5 runs in 6 innings. Now, the problem is you got to back Eshelman, and, he is what he is. He's been a journeyman, below average, bad pitcher for years. He has a 7.20 ERA with the Orioles this year. He's being called up from AAA. He was called up a few weeks ago. He's been working out of the bullpen. 5 prior starts this year with the Orioles, 8.35 ERA. So 7.2 ERA, but his ERA during the starts he's made, 8.35. So that's pretty damn bad for Eshelman here. So that's the issue here. It's a pass for me. I want no part of Toronto at this price, but Eshelman, no, I'm not getting on board him with Eshelman. So it's a pass for me. Maybe we could get the game over the total. The Orioles could score maybe a few, and the Blue Jays could certainly bash Eshelman here. So what is the total, by the way? I'm actually surprised it's 9.5, and it's fallen to 9.5 in a couple of spots. If you can get 9.5, I do think the over's worth a look here. What do you think, Conor Mac, Baltimore, Toronto?
Yeah, how I feel about Steven Matz laying this number. Crazy. Orioles have hit Matz. You talked about.
Yep.
I mean, even that other start, he went 5 innings. He gave up a couple runs. And I don't want to go full game. That Penn's bad, and the Blue Jays have really kicked the shit out of the Orioles. I mean, when they beat them down, it seems like they put a ton of runs up. But I got to take the Orioles first 5. It's just too big, too much money here. I think they could get to Matz and sneak out a little first 5 win here. You could take +0.5 if you want it a little bit less, but first 5 +255. I got to take a stab. It's just calling my name. It's too big. It's too out there. Steven Matz should not be priced like this.
No, and you're right. Baltimore's actually an even 500, 5-5 in their last 10 games. And actually, they've actually been better than the Blue Jays in their last 10 games. 4-6 for the Blue Jays in their last 10 games. The only issue right now is that, the only issue is Eshelman's just absolutely brutal. And you're right. The Blue Jays, Connor, have treated Baltimore like they're a human pinata. I mean, they have just absolutely ripped this team. I mean, you look at the series in Baltimore. What was it, 11-10? Actually, a couple of the games were close, but then 11-2, 22-7. But at the same point in time, maybe Baltimore remembers losing the last 2 games of that series in Camden Yards a few weeks ago by a combined score of 33-9. 11-2 and 22-7. But we'll have to wait and see here. But I just think the over. Stick with the total. I think we'll see enough runs. Maybe we can get to 10. Sharpie, what do you like?
Hey, shout out to the chat, guys. Smash the like if you haven't. And shout out to
T2.
We missed on Thomas the Tank Engine earlier with the Dono train. So there it is now for Grizzly earlier.
I just dabbed 5 minutes ago, and there's another one for the Dono. So let's get high, let's get by, and thanks for the support.
Absolutely.
They said pretty much everything that I pretty much can say, guys. Both of these bullpens are garbage. I want nothing to do with this game. Dog or pass, like Connor. Connor's got big balls. Mine are shriveled up. So let's go.
Yeah, the concept of backing Baltimore as a team as an underdog is not terrible. It's Eshelman. I mean, my gosh, the numbers can't be any worse for you. You never know. The Blue Jays, if they're holding their bats a little tightly, maybe they get maybe they're a little wound up.
Yeah, and you don't have to lay down whatever your full unit is on whatever games. Like on this, take a quarter unit or half. I mean, whatever you can do, or take +0.5, and drop this down to +180 or something, whatever it would be. But yeah, you don't got to go full board, but too much value Too much value. Steven Matz.
There is value.
Minus 350. Come on.
All right, we got the Phillies and the Marlins, Ranger Suarez, Sandy Alcantara on the mound here. We've got Philadelphia, or actually even money both sides here, 6.5 the total. I'm on Miami here, first 5 in full game. That looked like a dead team to me with the Philadelphia Phillies against Atlanta you were up against it going into that series. That, look, you probably weren't going to get in the playoffs. Atlanta was probably going to win the NL East anyway. But for them to not even win a game, for them to get swept, for them to really not even put up a really true battle in that series against Atlanta, I don't know. Maybe it looks like a team that's kind of, they're on vacation already. They're mentally checked out. I know Ranger Suarez has really good numbers. It's not the easiest pitcher to bet against. I mean, he's got a 1.45 ERA. What can you say? He's been really, really good, but I just don't like anything. Suarez is the only thing I like about this game from a Philadelphia standpoint. They're not hitting. Bullpen stinks. Collectively, the mentality and the psyche is at an all-time low. That was not a good series at all, and a must-win spot against Atlanta. Very lethargic, disappointing. I don't see them showing up for a meaningless series, weekend series against Miami. And I'll say this right now, for tomorrow and for Sunday, because Sharpie's going to take the reins of the MLB content for tomorrow and Sunday. Connor and I we'll be doing football stuff, but I'll say this for not only tonight but Saturday and Sunday. I will not have a Philadelphia bet in this series. I think they're done. I think they want this season over with now. They're out. There's nowhere to go. And look, Sandy, there's a lot worse bets you can make than betting Sandy Alcantara at home. He's been very good, 3 ERA. Give me Miami here, first 5 full game split against a dead as a doornail Phillies outfit. What do you think, Connor?
But you got to watch out. A dead as a doornail Philly team. This is when they'll win. So they're out of it. Now they'll probably sweep the Marlins just to mess with you. And I could see that. But I'd only be on Sandy and here. But the Marlins, they can't hit a lick. It's the first 5's under 3.5. It is what it is. There's a whole lot of wiggle room there. Suarez has been pretty good. I still would take that. I'm thinking about it. I haven't bet it. The 3.5. You could go the full game under. What is it? 6.5. Wow, that's low. I mean, I'd only take the Marlins here. But yeah, this is a tough one. Phillies looked bad last night. That was pathetic.
Yeah, they're squeezing you on the first 5 under 3.5. I'm even seeing 3 in a couple of books. So it's just not a lot of wiggle room with that. Sharpie, what do you think? Phillies, Marlins.
I'm part of those people moving that thing to 3, baby. And everything you said was the way I capped it. Philly's going to give up. I need Philly to give up to get under 3.5. Here we go. Miami's the worst damn team versus lefties. If Philly has given up, Suarez, I believe the pitcher hasn't. He's had a great season. Let's go finish your season in one of the biggest ballparks versus a team not hitting lefties, guys. And then we got Alcantara. He's a stud. He's even more of a stud at home. So 3.5, and the Phillies smash righties. So that's the issue here with the 3.5. But then I look at their lineup, no Riamalto, no McCutchen. I figured that was going to be there too because they're no longer in. I'm surprised Bryce Harper's in the lineup. It's like they're done. Give them a rest. You've been charging so hard. Give these guys a break. And that's what I figured their coach was going to do, and he did that to most of his players. So I'm on this game. I'm on the under 3.5.
All right, I agree with that. I mean,
I like it, but it's pushing it.
Yeah.
So the 3.5 unders minus 125 or higher. That's the only thing.
I got it at minus 105.
Oh, sure you did. Yeah.
That's the one thing Sharpie does. He's got this work going overnight to get ready for the card the next day, and he's locking in stuff as early as overnight. So, and often that can be beneficial, and it was definitely in this game. For those of you that like the first 5 under, you would have got a better price on it for sure earlier on. Mets and the Braves, Tyler McGill, Oscar Yanoa, the pitching matchup here. Atlanta minus 120, home favorites, 8.5 the total. I definitely agree conceptually with the idea of taking the Mets here as a road underdog. I mean, Atlanta, clinched the NL East last night. We saw this with St. Louis early. For as hot as St. Louis has been, even they weren't infallible to the letdown and the loss after clinching. That's what happened to St. Louis earlier this week. You might see that tonight with Atlanta. I just don't know if I want to back McGill, though, and the Mets, especially now with the price having gone all the way down. And I'm sure it's a response to Atlanta clinching last night because the Braves opened minus 160, and now they're just minus 120 pretty much across the board. Like, McGill's been rough. He's given up 10 runs in his last 7 innings against the Cardinals and the Brewers. It's been really bad for him. It's not been better for 7 runs, 4.2 innings. But right away, this is a spot I don't want Atlanta because of them clinching last night. We've seen this before. Bet against the team the night after they clinch. You might see that here with the Braves tonight. But boy, McGill's stats are ugly. They are not good in the last few games. And I don't know if they're so bad that I don't even know if I could take the Mets in what I think is a spot you may want to go against Atlanta in. So it's probably going to be a pass, just a lean to the Mets. See what this Atlanta lineup looks like. I would think there's a chance maybe they rest Soler, Freeman, Albies, Riley, Duvall, some of these guys. But if they don't, it's sure going to make 8.5 look pretty small in this game in terms of a total with these two pitchers. I mean, McGill's been awful. It got ripped in his last start. But again, check the Atlanta lineup. Right now, I lean Mets. I lean over. Conor Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to wait for the lineup. I don't trust the Mets. I know the Braves clinched. They stayed off the Cardinals that day. Man, but this line, I know everything's going in the Mets' way. I'd only be on the Braves. I'm going to wait for the line. I'd only be on them. First 5 again, a half run, plus 115, even their team total. McGill, he's just hit the wall. They pitched well. Nobody had seen him, and he's given up 4. You get one good start, 2 runs, 10 Ks versus the Yankees, but 6, 4, 5. He hasn't been good, so I can't take the Mets here. This is Braves or pass, and I'll look at it when I see the lineup.
All right, what do you think, Sharpie?
Oh, man. This game right here, both of these pitchers have burnt me like a mofo, man. Like, if these lineups are in, I'll be over and then some. And if it goes 0-0 for an inning, I'm going to throw some more money because these guys are going to get touched. It's giving up 2 or 3 runs minimum. And like Connor says, Miguel's had one good start in forever. Like, these guys have been nothing but dumpster fires. They were good to me at the beginning, and I rode them too long. It's time to get some of my money back on these guys. So I need the over somewhat if those guys are in the lineup.
All right, we got Cleveland and Texas, Eli Morgan and Spencer Howard. Your pitching matchup here in this one. We've got Cleveland minus 120, road favorites. The total currently 9 across the board, some 8.5s out there. Obviously, 2 teams playing for exercise. Cleveland gets the win last night, 6-1 over Kansas City with Bieber on the mound. So not surprising because Bieber has pitched well since returning. It'll be interesting to see how this one goes. Now, Eli Morgan, interesting. Remember, he was bet against material for me earlier in the year, and his numbers overall still aren't great, 5.27 ERA, but he's getting better. He had one really bad outing against Milwaukee on September 10th. The other 3 starts in the month of September, he's given up just 1 earned run in 17.2 innings. So Eli Morgan is pitching better for Cleveland of late. And I'd like to think I can trust him here against a very, very weak, light-hitting Texas Rangers team for the most part. They did hit yesterday, I should say, against the Angels. But still, it's been the exception to the rule that their offense just hasn't been trustworthy one start to the next. And then, of course, you got Spencer Howard, and definitely not someone that I'm going to get behind or back at this point. 4 runs, 6 hits, 4 innings in his last start against Baltimore. He got crushed for 6 runs and knocked out after just 1.1 innings against Houston a few starts ago. So he's had some really rough times here in the month of September where he's allowed 10 runs in just a span of 9.2 innings, which isn't good for Spencer Howard. So I'd have to lean Cleveland here. Don't know if I'll bet it. It is road chalk with a team that's going nowhere, but it's certainly the preferred side. Cleveland here, first 5 full game split. Conor Mac, Cleveland, Texas.
Yeah, I lean pass here. I want nothing to do with Eli Morgan and Spencer Howard. Even Eli Morgan, I know he's been better a little bit as the year's gone on, but what was it? He faced Texas August 24th, 4 1/3, 8 hits. He gave up 4 earned runs to a Texas team that I don't think is very good, swinging the sticks. So it's a game, just going to pass. I don't want to mess. It could go over, it could go under. I just don't waste your money on it. The lines are right where they're at. Pass.
Yeah, definitely I would lean over. Absolutely. If it's 8.5, I might actually take a shot with over the total here as well. What do you think, Sharpie?
Man, shout out to the chat. 120 live, guys, already over 50 likes. So I'm ripped like mofo. So I owe you guys another dab. So we'll get to that in a second. Connor, you're awesome. I love you. That made me die laughing. I'm going to say the same thing. Pass. Like, don't bet your money on this game.
I lean to pass, yeah.
Yeah, I lean to pass. That made me die, bro. I was like, oh, my God. Yes. But yeah, pass. I'm not nothing on this game. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as we're saying in the chat here, twitter.com/pubsportsradio. Of course, Pub Sports Radio Twitter. You check that out. Brian, I'll mention some CFL once we do college football, that part of the show after the baseball card. We will. I'll mention a CFL for the weekend as well. Although you should have watched the Football Frenzy yesterday because we went through the entire card. So I should make you watch that show. But no, I'll give you a couple picks. All right, next up we've got Detroit Tigers, Chicago White Sox, fast Willie Peralta, Lance Lynn on the mound here. White Sox minus 280, home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. Willie Peralta, it's just been kind of surprising to see that they've actually gotten way more out of this guy, the Tigers, than I ever thought they would coming into the year. He's actually been really good. I mean, this is pretty insane, the run he's on. 7 straight starts for Willie Peralta, 3 runs or less. Last 4 starts. All right, last 4 starts in the month of September. 3 runs over 21.2 innings. This is Willie Peralta doing this. It's been remarkable to really see how he's pitched here for the Tigers. And then you've got Lance Lynn. I almost get the sense they should shut him down for the playoffs. Keep him healthy, keep him fresh, keep him rested. Why throw him out there for a meaningless, regular season finale, a game against Detroit going nowhere, especially when he's coming off a rough outing. Lance Lynn got crushed in his last start by Cleveland. 6 runs, 7 hits in 6 innings, gave up 2 home runs. And he's had a couple of these starts, in the last, I would say couple of months where he just hasn't been, the same Lance Lynn that we've seen most of the year. And I know he's got good overall ERA still. He's got a great home ERA. But, man, we're talking about Willie Peralta, 1.02 ERA in his last 3 starts. The Tigers have actually gone with a winning record, 4-3. In his last 7 starts, 6-4 in his last 10 starts. I'm awfully tempted here with Detroit, at least in the first 5, maybe full game split as well. But I lean Tigers. I think there's a hint of value. And Peralta, look, I don't know if he can keep this up. You're always worried that blow up for him is right around the corner. But right now, it's not happening. He's been great for the better part of the last 7-8 starts. So lean Detroit at this price. Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, it'd only be on Detroit. If Lance Lynn's, he's only going to go, maybe 5 innings, 4 innings. I think they should rest him too. So 2 good starts in between, giving up 7 to the Cubs and 6 to the Indians. As much the wind's blowing in a little bit, I want this first 5 under. Tigers bats though woke up all of a sudden yesterday in that Twins game. So I'm just conflicted. I don't know if I want to put my money on it. It says go under. I could see runs. And, I'd only be on the Tigers with the plus money. Take a shot with them.
All right, good stuff. Cheshire Cat, $10 dono. Thank you very much. Another one.
Yeah.
It's like DJ Khaled and another one. Absolutely.
And another one.
It's a special show when the Dono train is making a second tour of duty, second trek around the tracks, if you will, on the same show. So thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Sharpie, what do you think here? Tigers, White Sox.
Man, I would sure love to trust me some Bulldog, man, because I'm looking at this White Sox lineup, and that first 6 batters is just, oh my goodness. They've got everybody in, and it's Peralta. So it's like it's Peralta, but Peralta's been good. But
you're just waiting for him to get rocked, Sharpie, aren't you? You're just waiting.
Yeah, and I want to be on that right side, but I don't want to. I stopped fading Peralta a while ago. I realized that, but they do normally back him with Urania. That's what I have noticed with Peralta, and that's when I usually jump on it when I see Urania coming trotting on out. I'm like, ooh, get to this. But I was leaning the White Sox team total over, but it's at 2.5 minus 145. That's just not bettable in the first 5. So yeah, just they've priced this out of my range. I don't want to back Peralta myself. I can't back the White Sox and land at this price.
All right, next up, we've got, as we continue along, Minnesota, Kansas City, John Gant and John Heasley, the pitching matchup, even money both sides, 9.5 the total in this game. Of course, John Gant, formerly with the Cardinals, now has been with the Twins for a little bit of time now. And a guy that early in the year, he was just mystifying everybody as to how he kept getting his way out of trouble. But he's actually been pretty good the last 4 starts. He had a rough patch for most of June and July and even into August. And then he's turned it around in September. He's given up 1 earned run in 8.2 innings. So he's pitched a lot better. He's still walking a lot of guys, though. That's the problem. I should say he's pitched better, but with a caveat. His control and command is still off the mark a little bit. I mean, 7 walks in his last 3 starts in those 8.2 innings. I mean, 7 walks in 8.2 innings isn't good, and you would think at some point, that's going to come home to roost and you're going to pay the piper for just having that kind of issues with the control and command. We'll have to see if that's tonight. The Twins have actually not been winning games, to be honest with you, with Gant on the mound. They're on a pretty vicious run of just 1-5 in his 6 starts with the Minnesota Twins. So we'll see what that means for him here. We've got Heasley on the mound here for the Kansas City Royals. He's pitched to a 3.86 ERA this year, making a spot start out of the bullpen. He gave up actually 5.1 innings of scoreless ball to Detroit in his last appearance on Saturday. Much improved outing because he had given up 4 runs in 4 innings just before that in his major league debut. So he's had 1 good outing, 1 bad outing. What are you going to get here in this one? What I do know with these teams right now, the Twins especially, is we've seen some offense from them of late. In the Detroit series, they scored 15 runs in the 3 games, 5 runs per game on average in that series, which is pretty good. And then you look at Kansas City, they got shut down by Bieber, but prior to that, against Plesac and Savali, who are, 2 at least capable pitchers, they ripped them for 16 runs combined in those 2 games. So, I have more questions than answers about these 2 pitchers right now. I know Gant's been good in terms of the runs, not allowing runs, but you're not going to get away indefinitely with giving up 7 walks, in your last 8 innings. You're just not. You're eventually going to you're going to make a mistake pitch with guys on base and give up a 3-run home run. That could be tonight. For that reason, I lean over 9.5 your Twins and Royals. Conor Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe the over can get there. I just don't want to 9.5. I can't trust Gant. I mean, he's pitched well his last couple, but every time I see him, I back him. He gives it up, walks a lot of guys, and gives up the big hit. He was good early on. We kind of, rode him early on while he was doing well, but like you said, Ian, he was going to hit the wall. He did. Heasley, yeah, good, bad. I don't trust him either. So, yeah, I guess I'd be the over. You look at team total. The Twins have been swinging it. That's for sure, like you talked about. I haven't looked at the Twins team total, but maybe look that way. They keep hitting the ball.
All right, Sharpie, what do you think?
Yeah, this is Gant, but Gant has been good, but I can't trust Gant myself. Like you guys said, I just keep knowing Cardinals Gant and how he was the first month with the Twins.
Yep.
And maybe he's figured it out because he was a spider tack guy, guys, and maybe he's figured a few things out. Like, damn, maybe I can't throw this pitch or that pitch. I mean, they are big leaguers. They did make it there. And I mean, I don't think they cheated their whole way,
No.
So I'm off this game myself. I don't really see a clear-cut way to bet it. So, yeah.
This could be this. Looking at John Gant's numbers gives you a headache because he's actually kept the runs down. He's not giving up a ton of runs, but the walks are insane. How do you keep getting away with 7 walks in your last 8 innings? Eventually, you're going to pay the price for that.
Yeah, he's going to. Yep.
People
and
are
the big
batting
hit comes
below 100 on his changeup. Like he's got one of the best changeups in the game.
Yeah, and it's been one of those pitches that consistently saves him. And he's gone to that, and especially in these. Do you know how many bases loaded, second and third, first and second jams this guy's been in, and he goes to that pitch, and damn, he gets out of trouble. He's been walking that tightrope. Sounds like that old song. Feel like I'm walking a fine line. That's what he's doing. He's walking a fine line. John Gant all year. Next up, we've got Oakland, Houston. Sean Manaea, Framber Valdez. Houston currently minus 120. Home favorites in this game, minus 135. It's actually gone up a bit, 8.5 the total. It's an easy pass because, again, we got the Astros in that after they clinched the AL West last night with the win against Tampa. I don't want to back a team the day after that spot, but Oakland's unbackable. Season's over for them. They're eliminated. I don't trust them to show up down the stretch. And believe it or not, Houston might actually want to win tonight just because Oakland swept them, on last weekend. In the Coliseum. So maybe Houston wants to get them back, but still, you're going to have a lot of guys maybe out for the Astros tonight. I'm looking at it. Jose Siri, no relation to Apple Siri, I don't think. You must get that joke all the time with a last name like that, Jose Siri. I mean, are you kidding me? Aledmus Diaz, Alex Bregman. We've got Yordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa, Marwin Gonzalez, Chase McCormick, Jake Myers, Jason Castro. So really Altuve and Gurriel and Tucker, as Crystal's alluding to in the chat. Those like the main bats not in the lineup tonight. Everybody else looks like they're in for Houston. So I don't know. I don't want to take Houston in this spot, and I certainly don't want Oakland the rest of the season after just a terrible series in Seattle. They're out. They're done. I don't want to back them. Pass for me. Connor, what do you think? Oakland, Houston?
Yeah, I'm going to pass too. I just don't want Oakland. I want more plus money with them right now, the way they're playing. Yeah, and you're right. Altuve's out. Bregman's in. He's got 3 homers off Manaea, but Tucker was a big one for me. I was looking at him like Jack of the Day, but he's out of the lineup, 7 for 20 with 4 homers off Manaea. So it's a game I'm going to stay away from. You go look at the Astros team total, 4.5, but those big bats on the bench, I'll pass.
All right, Sharpie.
Man, shout out to the chat. If you guys haven't hit the like, smash it like I smashed BBWs. It's Friday night, so it's going to be a long night. All right, this game right here, I want to plug my nose and bet the full game under. They both have decent bullpens. I don't think their pitching is going to just give up and quit. The hitting, like you said, the power bats that hit him are now out. And even with those bats in the last 15 days, both of these, the last 15 days are bottom 10 versus lefties. So if the ones that hit Manaea are out, and I think he could skate by with an under on this game. Like, I haven't bet it yet myself, but that's the way I'm leaning.
All right, leaning under. Yeah, it could be one of those snore fests, two teams. Oakland's not inspired to show up this weekend. Houston's clinched everything. Those are sometimes good under spots. Maybe we see it tonight. Cubs, Cardinals, Adbert Alzolay, Dakota Hudson, the pitching matchup in this one. We've got the Cardinals here minus, it looks like 170 home favorites, 8 the total. Well, it was going to be Alzolay for the Cubs, but they haven't confirmed it yet. Usually when it's not confirmed, but they're kind of hinting it's going to be the guy, it probably will be him. He's got a 4.66 ERA, which is not great by any stretch of the imagination. But right now he's tabbed as being the starter tonight for the Cubs. He's actually been better in the bullpen. He's pitched out of the bullpen primarily lately for the Cubs, which has been probably good news for them. We got Dakota Hudson for the St. Louis Cardinals on the mound, 4.91 ERA for him with the Cardinals this year. It's a guy that has made a few starts here in the month of September. Hasn't gone deep into any of these games, but given up 4 runs in 13 innings, which is pretty good for Hudson. And they're actually 4-1, the Cardinals, in his last 5 starts. Again, St. Louis has been such a good team to me, but now they're finally being priced like, the team that's been one of the hottest teams in baseball for the last month or so. So, the value ship has sailed, as I like to say. It's gone off into the distance. It doesn't exist anymore. You got to pay the premium that I think you should have been paying all along to back St. Louis. Now you are, so I'm just going to stay off the game. Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to stay off too. Big price. There's some rain there tonight. I don't think 20% chance. I'd only be on the over with these two teams. Cubs, just over team. Over. I think the Cards, while they don't have their full lineup in, I think they have Goldschmidt. They got a few guys in, O'Neill, Edmund, Bader.
They got most guys in.
Most guys
are
in right now. Edmund, Goldschmidt, O'Neill, Arenado,
they're in.
Bader, everybody. Oh yeah.
So I go over here. I haven't bet it yet, but I probably will. Waiting on the Cubs lineup. Cubs have just been swinging. They swing it, fucking give up a ton of errors. Not a good baseball team. Over.
Yeah, 8-2 to the over for the Cubs in their last 10 games. I wouldn't argue with that, and I might get there too with it. It's 8 right now, the total in this game, so you're not asking for a lot. I would lean over as well. Sharpie, what do you think? Cubs, Cards.
Man, I'm already betted. I'm on the over 4. It was minus 120, and I'm looking, and it's starting to move up on my book. Like, if it's Alizé, let's call his name what it is.
Alizé.
He's Alizé. He is a female drink. He's going to get lit up. I looked at that lineup and was like, oh, God, this is great. And then you look at the Cubs. They're a top 5 team the last month versus guys and the last 15 days. Like, they're going to get me a few runs off of Hudson myself. So 4 runs seem nice. It's going to move to 4.5, I believe.
All right, we got Colorado, Arizona, John Gray, Humberto Castellanos, the pitching matchup here. We've got Colorado minus 125, road favorites, 9 the total in this one. Colorado on the road, so usually that means I'm not as interested in backing them. John Gray in the last 3 starts, 5.27 ERA, not great. 4.73 road ERA, not great. And somehow, some way, the Rockies just don't win for this guy, John Gray. 1-8 they are in his last 9 starts. Not very good. You got Castellanos. He's not someone I trust either. September, 4 starts. He's given up 14 runs in 18.2 innings. That isn't very good. And 3 of those games have gone over the total. Maybe you can get over here this game. It's 9. You got at least some runs from Arizona last night. Actually, 2 of the games against the Giants, even though they lost all 3 games, got swept. They did score 4 runs in 2 of those games. 2 of them went over the total. They've gone 6-4 to the over in their last 10 games. Meanwhile, you look at the Rockies. They had a 10-5 game a couple days ago, the finale against Washington. Now, they've gone under the total in 5 straight before that, but their pitching's given up a lot of runs. I expect their offense to come to life a little bit here, though, because Castellanos has been giving it up. So rather than either side, I would look over 9 here. Rockies, Diamondbacks. Conor Mac, what do you like here?
Yeah, that's what I lean to. There's not much of a bargain on the side. But I might not go pregame. I'll just wait live. Gray might pitch well early. This could just be a live bet for me. Like you talked about, D-backs, I know they scored 4 last night. It was all early. They haven't scored many runs lately, neither the Rockies. So I'd live bet this one.
All right, Sharpie.
Man, I thought this was actually a cheap ticket on John Gray. Like, if you want to give me John Gray versus Castellanos in the lineup that the Rockies put out.
But he's on the road and he doesn't win, let alone at home on the road. But yeah.
It was versus Castellanos. And I looked at their lineup. Everybody's in. That's their sluggers. So at 125 first 5, I put a half unit and I bet the full game at minus 114. They have the way better bullpen. So it's just I like Colorado. Sad to say, they've been money.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, they've got everybody. The Rockies. It's a solid lineup tonight. Ramel Tapia at the top of the lineup. Ramel Tapia, I should say. Brendan Rodgers. Charlie Blackmon's in, Trevor Story's in, CJ Cron is in, Ryan McMahon. I mean, most of their guys are in there tonight. So, and again, Castellanos hasn't been great, so I think they could do some damage. Again, they just have bad grade. They've just been unable for some reason to win with Gray, 1-8 in 9 starts. But how many of those have been a team as bad as Arizona? That's the thing as well to keep in mind. All right, 7th inning stretch time. Oh man, on a Friday after another long week, that feels good. Definitely work out those kinks. All right, we have 3 games left on the West Coast. That's why we're doing the stretch now. We'll shout out everybody in the chat. Crystal Warren, Josh Peacosh, Not Applicable, Mark Schillingberg, Cheshire Cat, Eric Jones, Jefferson C, Danzo, Ixnizzle 420, Robert Cherry, of course, Sharpie's with us, Ouroboros, Brian Watson, Helpful Honda. I like that name, Helpful Honda. Oh, Honda's only helpful if it doesn't break down on you. Let's see, Jefferson C, that we mentioned you already. Rem Most, thanks for the donos, by the way. Multiple people donating during this show. Awesome stuff. Ralph Bryant, good stuff. As we continue on, do we miss anybody? Alfonso Scott, good to see you in the chat as well. Anton Gardner, LJ from H-Town. There we go. Thanks to everybody in the chat. 134 live viewers. Hit the like button. Make sure you do that for us because it helps us out big time. On we move now. West Coast action. 3 games on the West Coast. San Diego Padres, San Francisco Giants. Pedro Avila for the San Diego Padres in this one. And we've got Anthony DiSclafani for the Giants. Minus 200 home favorites. The Giants, 9 the total. Shaded to the under. Pedro Avila for the Padres. I mean, it doesn't matter who even pitches for them anymore. Am I interested in backing this Padres team? No. The answer is no. It's just a team that's been beyond miserable. Beyond miserable. Like not even showing any pride down the stretch here. Getting whipped on a nightly basis. Getting absolutely steamrolled by the Dodgers. Blowing a lead in the one game to the Dodgers. They were up 9-5 in that one game. And they ended up losing at 11-9. They get buried by Gonsolin and the Dodgers, and Velasquez was terrible as always last night against the Dodgers, which was good. I like the over in that game. It got there 8-3 in favor of the Dodgers. I'm not backing this San Diego team. Why would you even take San Diego? They can't win. They've quit. They've given up. The manager's on his way out the door. They're going to kick his ass out the door when the season ends. And all San Francisco does is all they do is win, 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 no matter what. You know that song from Lil Jon? That's all San Francisco's doing right now. They're winning high-scoring games. They're winning little 1-0 squeakers like they did the other night. And then they find a way to walk off the Diamondbacks 5-4 last night in a back-and-forth game. They just find a way, San Francisco, and that's probably why they're going to win this division. It's probably just a question of when they clinch, not if. DeSclafani's been solid. The last 8 starts for DeSclafani, 3 runs or less in those games, 5-3. They are the Giants. So this is probably, what I cashed with last night. 4.5 team total over for San Francisco. Why not? I mean, it got there last night. Most of the time, they're able to score 5 runs at home. The San Diego starting pitcher, I'm not ready to trust him, Pedro Avila, in this game. You look at it, 3.22 ERA in AAA. It's okay, but it's not great. And you're going to see a bad bullpen after that. So, if anything, Giants team total over 4.5 for me. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Padres Giant.
Yeah, you said it all right there. I mean, the Padres are unbackable right now. The year is over. The Giants keep getting there at the team total. The juice is starting to get high on the 4.5, minus 140. But that Padres bullpen is bad. I mean, you saw the Dodgers just bang them out. I mean, I think they could get over if you want to get the 5.5 at plus money or go run line here with the Giants. They didn't get it done last night, but they've been pretty good. Man, I want them to lose, but you're right. All they do is win. So I'm off.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Almost a 5 ERA, by the way, for the San Diego bullpen in their last 10 games. So it tells you how rough it's been. Sharpie, what do you like here?
The chat's going crazy. All I do is win is by DJ Khaled, not Little John.
True. Yeah, DJ Khaled. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, let's get there. I haven't bet it myself. One guy who hasn't quit on the Padres, guys, Fernando Tatis. This guy did something last night that only 5 people in the history of baseball has done at Dodger Stadium. He hit the damn ball out the freaking ballpark. Like, out the damn stadium, guys. Last person to do it was Giancarlo Stanton. That guy still has a chance at a damn freaking MVP. So I look towards backing him and like at least over 1.5 bases today, guy. He is at least trying, and he's swinging for the fences. So maybe that's going to be my jack of the day. There you go.
Looks like the Cox Cable gremlins are gripping Sharpie there, because you're right. His stream is acting up on him. We'll see if we can get him back here. But yeah, is
it better?
Yeah, it's cutting in and out a little bit. But yeah, I was going to say, did Cox Cable invade your home or something?
Maybe so.
You can just bounce out for a second. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what that might be good. Yeah, bounce out and come back in. That sometimes will fix it, Sharpie. So. That's all right. It happens. Shit happens. Technology sucks sometimes. What can you do? All right, next up, we've got 2 games left. We've got the Angels and the Mariners. Huge game, obviously, for Seattle, because this incredible run has got them tied now with the Boston Red Sox for the 2nd American League wildcard spot. Part of me wants to see Seattle get in, Connor. I don't know if they could beat the Yankees in a wild card going to Yankee Stadium. Probably not, but I'd like to see them in there. I mean, we haven't seen Seattle in the playoffs since like the late part of Ken Griffey Jr.'s career, and Ichiro was on the Mariners too. The last time they made the playoffs, which was 2002, I think, the last time the Mariners made the playoffs. So it would be kind of cool to see Seattle get in there, at least for a wild card. But they've got work to do still. Starting tonight against the Angels, Marco Gonzalez, Jose Suarez, the pitching matchup. Mariners minus 160, home favorite, 7.5 the total in this game. I certainly will not go against Seattle right now. They got some kind of magic going at the moment. What a run it's been for them. Incredible during this stretch of baseball for them. It almost feels like there's some kind of magic going. That 2001, by the way, is actually the last time they made the playoffs. So that's exactly 20 years ago, the last time Seattle made the playoffs. But it's been a remarkable run for them. The Mariners, they've won, 4 straight, and then 9-1 in their last 10 games. Swept Oakland this week. And look, Marco Gonzalez, let's give him a lot of credit. Last 3 starts in the month of September, he's been a lot better, 3 runs or less. The Mariners are now a awesome 8-1 in Marco's last 9 starts. So they've been winning consistently here with Marco Gonzalez on the mound 8-1 in his last 9 starts. Jose Suarez, not pitching all that great. He really hasn't been someone I've trusted since he's been in the rotation. Last 2 starts, he's given up 7 runs in 10.2 innings combined against Oakland and Seattle. He just faced Seattle last week, and Mariners won that game 6-5, and he struggled in that game. So I would lean Seattle again here, but here's the problem. Seattle, we've been liking them in this pick-em price range, and they've been minus 115 and minus 120 and all these nice prices, reasonable prices, and now you're having to lay minus 160. And look, the pressure's ratcheting up a little bit. Now you're tied with Boston. Now it's almost right there for the taking. Don't let the yips get to you. I kind of worry about that still for Seattle tonight. Now, don't let the yips get to you. And by the way, Shohei Ohtani, shame on you, man. People think you should be the MVP, and you're not even taking the ball on Sunday in what could be a game that means everything to Seattle. I know your team is out, but what's your excuse for not pitching that game? Seriously, I said I'm just going to not pitch that day. With that for the Angels, that Sunday game, if Ohtani does pitch, which he's not gonna because he declined to pitch, that could be your World Series this year. You're obviously not had a good year. You're not going to the playoffs, but wouldn't you love it to maybe knock out a division foe and keep them out of the playoffs? Where's your competitive spirit, man? Everybody talking about how amazing Ohtani is. Come on now. Get in there and pitch on Sunday, for crying out loud. Get it. Come on, big game. Don't you want to kind of sense what maybe, hey, get out there. I know it's not a big game for the Angels, but maybe it kind of would be if you have some want to try to knock out a team that's in your division. I didn't like what Ohtani's doing there. I think he should pitch on Sunday. Come on. I'm disappointed he's not. I'm disappointed in him deciding that he's not going to pitch in that game because they left it up to him and he said, no, I'm just not going to pitch that day. Disappointing. I mean, if you want to eventually show that you want to be this, not only a guy that people marvel at for hitting and pitching in the same year, but don't you want to have that ability to maybe pitch in a big game? And this is as big a game as possible here. But I don't know.
Maybe but it's not a big game for them,
yeah.
Ian. I mean, it's just they need to get to the off season. I don't blame. I mean, a big game would be if they were actually in the hunt. So it's a tough one. I agree, but he's the guy.
If I'm the Blue Jays manager and I'm Ohtani and I was in a spot like this and I was in the Angels spot and I was trying to keep the Yankees or Red Sox out of the playoffs in a divisional series at the end of the year, I'd say, get your ass out there, Robbie Ray. Get out there and pitch on that final Sunday. We want to stick it to these guys. We want to play spoiler. We want to knock them out. But I guess everybody's different, right? Connor, what do you think here? Angels and Mariners.
Yeah, he's pretty different too. I mean, he's an unbelievable hitter and pitcher, and not since Babe Ruth have we seen that. So, I mean, the guy is playing every day. Yeah, I like the Mariners. The price sucks. I hate backing Gonzalez. Man, this guy's hurt me bad in the past. Mariners just saw Suarez. They got 4 runs off him last week. I think they scored more than that in the game I had them. I don't know. You want to go half a run or run line? I was just thinking, the team total. I know it's 4.5, but I got it at plus 115. There's some other ones out there, plus 110. I think they could get 5. And this total seemed low. I know it's a tight game. I think it's just too low at 7.5 with these two pitchers. So I kind of leave it over here as well.
All right, Sharpie, Angels, Mariners.
Yeah, I got a little joke I have to say. I had to write it down when you were talking about Ohtani MVP. My 16-year-old kid gets in the car the other day on the way home from school, and he goes, why isn't nobody talking about Vlad? He's got a 0 ERA and hasn't allowed a hit all year. And I just died laughing. I was like, you're so right, dude. I guess that's true. True. I mean, no one's talking about it. I mean, didn't he pitch 1 inning too? And that's the funny thing. But onto it. Suarez versus Gonzalez. I kept Gonzalez at a minus 160, and Seattle team total is the way I look. But this baseball field is so tricky to the overs. It's like the biggest baseball field in the history of baseball fields. So I wrote down that I want to go look at Seattle's hit. I want to look at what their hits are for the game. That's a bet that I'm going to be looking at towards making, because sometimes the runs just don't come in that, dude. Like a normal home run is an out, and that sucks towards your over sometimes.
Stephen Sharpie Hawking with us here on the MLB Closing Time show today. It's unfortunate, but yeah, still having some technical issues here right now. But that's all right. We'll keep on trying, Sharpie. Keep coming back. We'll get this. We'll plow through this. We'll get through.
I switched to my phone. I don't get why it's not working.
Yeah, definitely. It's just it is what it is. It's just there we go. It's better now. It's looking
one more game.
All of a sudden, whoa! It just cleared right up there. Yeah. There we go. All of a sudden, it looks a little bit better. There we go. Just all of a sudden, cleared right up. All right, good stuff. Good timing because we get to talk about your Dodgers now in the final game, taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Eric Lauer, Clayton Kershaw on the mound here. Dodgers minus 190, home favorites, 8 the total in this one. Dodgers, give the Dodgers credit. I mean, they are going to keep making and forcing the Giants to keep winning in order to hang on to the NL West. But unfortunately, they're running out of time. 3 games left, and they're still 2 games back. So it's going to be tough for the Dodgers. I mean, they just need San Francisco to fall completely flat at home against San Diego this weekend. It's hard to envision that happening. So we'll have to wait and see. But they're going to keep on playing like you can still win the division. That's what they've been doing all week. But they got to take on Eric Lauer and a guy that's just been absolutely terrific for the Brewers. It's been an unbelievable run for him. He's given up 1 run in 5 or less in 5 consecutive starts. 4 runs over his last, 30 innings? I mean, unbelievable by Eric Lauer. He's been terrific during this stretch. Kershaw on the mound for the Dodgers. And I'll tell you what, since the return to the rotation here in the month of September, he's pitched okay, but he hasn't been lights out. In the last start against Arizona, he struggled. He gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 home runs in just 4.1 innings, and the Diamondbacks won 7-2. In Kershaw's most recent start. I'm tempted by Milwaukee and Lauer here at this price. I mean, at some point, if you're the Dodgers, don't you just have to say, look at the week we've had. We've played good. We've been winning. And we can't make up any goddamn ground on this San Francisco team. That's got to eat away at you mentally, at some point, maybe tonight. But Lauer getting this price is tantalizing. So if I'm betting this game, I'm looking at Milwaukee here at the big plus number, first 5 in full game. Conor Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, no value with the Dodgers here. I want to see how Kershaw does. Obviously, Dodgers have hit lefties a little better lately. They have some decent numbers off Lauer. I could see there being more runs, or this is just a dead under. I think this could be a dead under after all those runs the Dodgers scored. I haven't bet it yet, and I don't think I want to go. I just go full game. Get the Dodger bullpen that's been good. So I'm leaning under. And yeah, I can't. Just too big of a price with the Dodgers to lay like a run line. Even the team total at 4.5 minus 120. I got to pass there.
All right, Sharpie, do you like anything here? Brewers, Dodgers?
Well, do I sound like a robot or no?
Yeah, you're good.
No, you're good.
Yay. All right. I'm on the Dodgers run line here, guys. Here and why. It's Clayton Kershaw in a must-win game. This guy's a Hall of Famer who shines when he needs to shine, guys. Milwaukee is a bottom barrel team versus lefties, and Kershaw's coming off of a game where he did get hit. But Arizona tends to get him sometimes, guys. That's a divisional game. This isn't a team who sees Clayton Kershaw every day, guys. I see Clayton Kershaw dominating, and Dodgers are a top 5 team all month, all 15 days versus lefties, guys. So I expect them to hit and keep hitting. And Lauer has been good. I have a half unit on the under 4 first 5 and a full unit on the Dodgers run line.
All right, there we go. Liking the Dodgers and liking big game as Sharpie thinks he is. Clayton Kershaw to step up here in this game to give the Dodgers at least try to keep their faint NL West hopes alive. I'll tell you what, if you're the Dodgers and it's looking likely Giants are going to win this division, that is a tough, scary Wednesday night coming up for you with the St. Louis Cardinals coming to town. I know you get that game at Dodger Stadium, that NL wild card if you're indeed playing the Cardinals, but that's a scary game.
Well, they need to change it. Team wins 105 games, and they got to put one game.
One game shootout, and your season could be done. I think that's a lot of people have been talking about that they need to change it where it's based on record, and that you can make an exception for a season like this where a wild card team has a better record than say a team that won their division, and give them precedent. And give them at least a path to the division series, and even force the division winner to play the wild card game instead, based on record. But apparently MLB values winning your division. They say we got to give the teams that win their division, regardless of the record, their due. Give them that path right to the division round, that's the decision they've made. But I agree, it looks kind of weird and kind of unfair when you're seeing a team with the record like the Dodgers have, and then you got these other teams in the NL, and they're the ones that get stuck playing a wild card game, where one game, one bad start, one day where your lineup isn't hitting, one bad bullpen meltdown, and your season's over. I mean, that's what you're looking at, right?
Yeah.
In that situation, in the one game shootout, like they're going to have. I mean, you look at it, 103-56 is their record. And you look at the NL Wild. I mean, you look at the Brewers leading the NL Central with 95 wins. Atlanta's a division winner, and they've got 86 wins. Why isn't Atlanta playing a wild card game? Why isn't Milwaukee playing a wild card game? They've got less wins than Dodgers. It does seem unfair because the Dodgers have got a 100-win baseball team, and yet they're going to have to be sweating out a game against one of the hottest teams in baseball on Wednesday night, St. Louis. And like I said, one bad start from whoever pitches that night, one night where your lineup doesn't hit with runners in scoring position, one night where Billy Jansen sucks or doesn't get the job done, and your season's done. How is that fair for a 100+ win baseball team to go through that? It's tough. I hear the gripe. If you're a Dodgers fan, I understand the gripe about this format. We hear you, Connor.
Yeah, it is what it is, but we'll see. So, I mean, it's not great that, but I think they'll pitch fine, hopefully. But our guys, Buehler and Scherzer, who look like really good, have gotten hit around a little bit lately. So that one game could be huge.
I'm not panicking about either guy. Either guy's
either am I.
Wiping the slate clean.
Hey, now.
Big game. Get out there. They both got bulldog mentalities, both of them, actually, Buehler and Scherzer. So get out there and find a way to win. No doubt about that. All right, let's turn our attention to some college football. We do have 3 games, and then we'll get back to best bets and Jack of the Day and do all that at the end of the show. College football, we've got 3 games tonight. We'll start with Houston and Tulsa. We've got Tulsa 3.5-point home favorites, 54 the total. The more the total drops, the more I think there's value to the over, but I don't know how good either offense is. I do know Tulsa's offense has been better the last few weeks. Davis Brin, they put up the yards and points against Ohio State. I thought they moved the ball well against Ohio State a couple weeks ago, and then we know what they did last week against Arkansas State, 41 points in that game. I just don't know if Houston's offense is any good because I think Tulsa can score here a little bit. I don't know about Houston's offense. Clayton Tune's been tuned. He hasn't exactly played great at the quarterback spot for the Cougars. That's the thing that concerns me. I lean Tulsa, but I don't want to lean more than a field goal. I lean over. I think I might get there with the over, though, 54. It's just you will get both of these teams playing, I don't want to say super hyper fast, but Temple plays above average tempo and pace. Houston slightly above average. They don't play as fast the last year or two under Holgerson, but they don't play like a snail either on offense. Total of 54. Lean Tulsa, lean over. Connor, you got anything on this game?
Yeah, nothing on the side. Yeah, I got to see more from Houston. Can they score, a bunch? I think Tulsa can. I'm with you that it's dropped. I lean over on this game, too. I haven't bet it, but I've been looking at it all day.
Iowa, Maryland. Iowa 3-point road favorites, 47.5 the total in this one. This one I lean under. 47.5 here, Iowa, Maryland. I think it's a low score. I think Maryland's defense is vastly improved, to be honest. I mean, I've been impressed with Maryland's defense, and I like Little Two has played well. Has he played a defense like Iowa's so far this year? I don't. This Iowa defense is just absolute, lockdown right now. Can't run against them. Their secondary is outstanding, and there is no secondary or pass defense that Maryland has played so far that's anywhere close to Iowa. So this is going to be and it is in Maryland, I get it, but definitely a situation where I think, Maryland's going to get tested here. Look, all week long, this was going to be a pass for me in this game. Now that we're seeing threes, a flat -3 across the board, I'm tempted to lay the 3 with Iowa. I mean, I really believe in this defense, and the defense has shown all season long they're good enough to win games all by themselves. That defense single-handedly beat Indiana. That defense single-handedly beat Iowa State earlier this year. I would definitely lean Iowa now at -3. I think there's definitely value in Iowa now. Whether they win and cover is another story, but Iowa to me is the side I would only go with here at -3. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, this is a huge game for Maryland. We talked about earlier in the week. I wanted more points, and now all the money's kind of, it's moved to 3. Yeah, I mean, I like Iowa a little bit. I think they're a more complete team. And I think they can kind of win like that by a field goal. I'd love to have 2.5. And I might pull the trigger on Iowa here, but I'm with you. I got to go with the under. That defense is good. And Iowa's not a light up team. They're just a team that's not going to score a shit ton of points. I mean, they do a few times a year, score 40, but I think this one's tight. So give me the under 47.5.
All right, final game, BYU, Utah State. We've got BYU 9.5-point road favorite, 64.5, 65.5 the total. I mean, I understand the initial push to the over with this, but this total opened 57.5. It's like at some point it's gotten too high, and I know Utah State plays extremely fast. I know they left a shit ton of points on the board last week against Boise because they kept going to Boise territory and fumbling and turnovers and stopped on 4th down and missing field goals. We talked about that earlier in the week. I think they'll turn those drives into points tonight. And certainly BYU's offense has been better than I thought under Jaron Hall, and we're still not sure how good Utah State's defense is. But I think now with that fraudulent final score, there's actually value in this spot, getting almost double digits with Utah State here as a home underdog, and they'll get up for this game. Rivalry game. I think it's not that it doesn't matter to BYU. BYU's played big games already. They played the Holy War against Utah. They've played Arizona State. They played a lot of big games, good competition. This kind of feels like a lesser game for them. And I don't think it's a lesser game for Utah State. They'll be up for this. I think the home dog could be barking here. I like Utah State a little bit. And I understand the move to the over, but now that it's 65.5, I'd never say to anybody, bet over 65.5 now when you could have had high 50s with this total earlier in the week. Connor, any thoughts here? BYU, Utah State.
Yeah, with the total, it could get there, but I think this has gone way too high. Like Muhammad put in there, BYU kind of plays it slow. They're not a get up and down team. If Utah State can make some stops, I see under here, and I'm with you. I think they could hang around here. I definitely just wouldn't feel great laying the points with BYU in this spot. They could. I didn't like how they played last week. Maybe they look a bump better. I think Utah State will. So I might have a small bet on that plus 9.5 as well.
Yeah, Utah State, a much improved team, in my opinion, this year under Blake Anderson, who did a great job, of course, at Arkansas State. All right, there's your college football for Friday night. That's just a little taste of what to expect tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, yes. Saturday college football kickoff show. Me, Conor Mac, Big Ragu, DJ Big Boss. We will come out, and Big Ragu's back, by the way, tomorrow. He's feeling good. He sent me a DM saying he's feeling better. He'll be back on the show tomorrow morning. So looking forward to having the crew back tomorrow. And what a Saturday it's going to be. Tons of huge games across the board. I mean, where do you start? Ole Miss, Alabama, Boston College, Clemson, Georgia, Arkansas, Indiana, Penn State, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Michigan, Wisconsin. You can go on and on about the big games that are taking place tomorrow. So it's a great Saturday, and we'll be breaking it down for you tomorrow morning. Join us for that. We'll bring Sharpie back in here in just a second because we're going back to baseball after the break with best bets and also a Jack of the Day coming up in just a second. But first, we will pause at this time, as we always do, for messages from both Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, make sure you're there for great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke as well. Southtown 101, Manscaped, promo code PubSports, Lawnmower 4.0, any Manscaped product. Get it and get 20% off your purchase with the promo code PubSports. And MyBookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. We got football season. We've got NHL and NBA about to start. We've got, of course, college basketball as well coming up. And I know Maxwell Smart, good timing for me to mention college basketball. I think he knew I was going to mention that those two words, college and basketball, because he heard it and he's in the chat. Nobody loves college basketball probably in these parts more than Maxwell Smart. Good stuff. It's coming. I mean, early November 9th, I believe, is the first game. So it's going to be here too. So what's that mean? It means sign up at mybookie.ag and make sure you don't miss out on any of it. Sign up for an account. Use the promo code PubSports, a Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit as well. Mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. All right, we'll get to best bets in just a sec, but first, time for Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
All right, Jack of the Day time for this Friday night, final Friday of the regular season in Major League Baseball action. There are a couple. There's actually Colin Moran for the Pirates has a home run against Castillo and good numbers. India and Suarez and Votto all have homers against Crow. So there's a decent game, I think, for some home run props. That Reds and Pirates game, definitely. You go on down the list here. There's actually Nelson Cruz and has hit pretty well against Nestor Cortez. He's and a home run. Same with Yandy Diaz, who's had a great second half of the year in that Tampa Bay Rays lineup. So, there's a couple to look at maybe from the Rays for Jack of the Day going forward. How about Ryan Mountcastle and Severino from the Orioles against Mats? I mean, they both hit a home run against him. So there's something to look at as well in that game. If they're in the lineup, Ozzie Albies and Austin Riley have both gone deep against Tyler McGill for the Mets. So there's something to look at as well. And a couple others as we go on. Alex Bregman against Manea. So you talk about 286 average and 3 home runs against Sean Manaea. So he's done very, very well against him head to head. So there's another one you could go with as well. And that's pretty much about it for the most part. I'm going just the last couple games here. A couple against Suarez here. Yes, Kyle Seager, 3 for 9 and a home run. Ty France has been on fire. He's hit a home run against Jose Suarez. Can't go wrong with Mitch Haniger either. So any of those 3 Mariners against Suarez might be worth a look for Jack of the Day as well. Conor Mac, what do you like home run props?
You mentioned some of those Orioles, Mountcastle, Severino. I'll take Mullins. I've taken him, but he's plus 600 today. That's why I got to take the value. You just hit Bregman. France is the other guy from France. And then McMahon from the Rockies, plus 450, and Rogers, plus 500. I think one of those guys go the yard against the D-backs.
All right, there you go. There's some Jack of the Day candidates from Conor Mac and I. Best bet time now for this Friday card. I was going to go to Sharp. Oh, there we go. Just perfect timing. There he is. I was going to throw it to Sharpie. He's back. Best
there
bet.
He is.
What do you got for us for best bet?
Man, I'm sorry, guys. I put myself on the TV and seen how bad I was freezing. So I'm just sorry if I've been bugging anybody in the chat.
It's not your problem. Usually,
I turned the Wi-Fi off now and just ran it like that. So hopefully that should run. I pay my phone bill. So let's get it. Best bet, though. We're going to go to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Okay, Power Ranger Suarez for the Philadelphia Phillies. Over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 130. I bet it on Bovada right before the show. Herein why, guys. Miami is just putrid versus lefties. Bottom average, bottom OPS. I expect him to be out there for at least 6-7 innings, especially with how bad that Philly bullpen is. Once again, we got Alcantara on the other side. I expect him to be out there 6-7 innings. That's 2-3 bats at minimum from a pitcher, guys. 5.5 from a team that's walking 6% of the time, striking out 25% of the time the last 15 days. Seems too low for me, guys. I see 7 strikeouts here. So I'm on a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Suarez.
There you go. Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Suarez. There you go for the Philadelphia Phillies over strikeouts for Sharpie with his best bet. All right, Conor Mac. I mean, best bets have been really good. I mean, there's been some good runs we've had. We've had some terrible runs too. We got to be, fully transparent. We've had some favorable runs as well with the best bets. But I don't know if you and I have both had a run like this through the month of September where we've had a really good run with best bets, both of us on this show. Let's see if we can finish strong here for this final. It's definitely our final appearance on the MLB Closing Time show during the regular season. Sharpie will drive the bus on the weekend. Final regular season, closing time, MLB best bet, Connor. So make it count. What do you got?
Easiest one. The guy wrote it in the chat. Here, yay. The Nats. Team total over 3.5. I got to stick with it all year long. I stayed away from it. It's been good to me. Like against the Rockies, I think they get 4 off Rodriguez today. And I'm going to take, whatever you want to do it, you got to take some of the Nats first 5 too, plus 175. I think they could get it done.
There you go. Washington Nationals team total over 3.5. A best bet here for Conor Mac on this Friday MLB card. Best bet for me coming up here. Again, let's see if we can finish off strong, finish off with a win. This was a trickier card for me, much, much trickier. You're a little bit more picky, pick your spots a little bit more in this time of year. I'm going to go with hopefully there's not everybody out here in this game, but I'm going to go with it just because I don't really love the pitching on either side going into this game tonight for these two teams. There are some guys rested for the Braves, so that does concern you a little bit. But I'm going to take a shot with it anyway, especially that I see 8s now with McGill and Yanoa, the way they've gone of late, and Atlanta still, in terms of home games this year, they've trended over the total. We don't need an all-out slugfest. The total's 8. I think it can happen. Mets, Braves, over 8, minus 115. I'm going to go with that for best bet here tonight on this Friday MLB card. Mets, Braves, over 8 for best bet. That'll wrap up this edition.
Bobano,
yes.
Real quick. We do got a UFC stream, guys. Tomorrow it's early, guys. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Got to give the shout out. We got the Pub Sports crew. They will be live holding it down. I'm going to be there, guys. So let's get to that cash. And Noli made something good. Alcantara is 5 strikeouts away from 200, and the Phillies are putting a B lineup out other than Harper. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind his strikeout.
What's his strikeout, 5.5 or 6.5?
I haven't looked at it. If it's 5.5, I'd play it. Yeah. They got a B lineup out.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, but yes, the UFC is tomorrow, and it is an earlier start. Keep in mind, this is not one of those 7 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Eastern late cards. This is earlier in the day. Yes, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Thiago Santos and Johnny Walker, the headliner, as the main event. I wonder if Johnny Walker drinks Johnny Walker when he wins. That's always a good question there. But see, I don't even know if he's a whiskey guy. But there you go. Something that always pondered me whenever I see Johnny Walker fighting the octagon. Does he celebrate with a Johnny Walker? I don't know. But
which kind of Johnny Walker though does he drink? Yeah. If he drinks it, does he drink red, black?
I think he's drinking the red, the cheap kind.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. With what Dana's paying the fighters these days for everything they put themselves through, that's probably true. That's right. Yeah. Again, let's get some better money and pay for these guys, right?
No shit.
They're going through the freaking ringer physically in the octagon for entertainment purposes. Come on, pay these guys. Let's go. Anyway, enough of that. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We will be back with you. Connor, me, DJ Big Boss, Big Ragu tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, Saturday college football morning kickoff show on Pub Sports Radio. Sharpie will have the MLB rundown for you Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to be on NFL Pub Hub with Jimmy and a cast of characters this weekend, so looking forward to that.
Billy's got a show at 6 o'clock tonight too, boys.
Yeah, Billy, definitely keep it. That's probably
Stacks and
Fat. Oh yeah, yes sir. I'll be on that too. Pop on, come show some love. DraftKings, props,
guys everywhere.
Got to get your props in on Friday, guys, because the line it will move on the ones, and they give you good DraftKings advice on that show. So be there or be square.
Yeah, exactly. It's always better to bet the props earlier, like Friday, Saturday. Don't wait till Sunday morning, an hour or two before kickoff. You're almost always going to get worse numbers with those. And of course, the UFC stream 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with the UFC Pub Sports Radio crew. So it's a slam weekend. Anyway, I think we're going to have our Sunday night and Monday night football too for NFL streams too. So everything going on this weekend at Pub Sports Radio. So make sure you check that out. So this is our final regular season for Connor and I, that is, although Sharpie will get you some MLB video content over the weekend. But we will be back Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and we'll be back every day during the playoffs. We're still going to be here for every day during the MLB postseason, talking the wild card games, the division series, the ALCS, NLCS when that gets here, and, of course, the World Series. So we're still going to be here for another month going through the entire playoffs on this show. So make sure you check that out. Now, Connor, any last words?
No, I've had a blast. We've done it every day. I think we just missed one day after the All-Star break. Sharpie has held it down the last few weeks with football. And yeah, baseball coming to the end, but I love the playoffs. So, and the football's here. The fall is here, transition. So, hell yeah. And I might join Sharpie on Sunday. I don't have to be on NFL Pub Hub. So, Saturday night. So, I might join you if I
There you
get
go.
my college football bets in. I will be with you to record that probably.
You may find me on Pub Hub too.
There you go.
he will be on too.
There you go. Well, you never know. It's a mystery every week. Every week it's a different cast. It's just
no sleep, baby.
wrangles up together to be on. There you go. But looking forward to it. Big weekend. So make sure you stay tuned to Pub Sports Radio all weekend long. All right, that's a wrap. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for the donos. Incredible. Multiple people today.
Grizzle A, everybody. Cheshire Cat, Crystal Lauren.
Yeah.
Kevin, everybody that gave
Kevin
us
the Fritas. Everyone who smashed the like, you guys rock. Pub crew.
We do.
All day. We be pumping.
You guys are doing what you're doing, supporting, hitting the like button, tuning in every day, donating to the channel. That's the reason why I think we might be around for a while here at Pub Sports Radio, which is a great thing for everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Conor Mac, Sharpie, great to work with you as always. Ian Cameron, have a great Friday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again tomorrow for more action right here on Pub Sports Radio.